అరుదు తాళపాక అన్నమయ్య పదములు.
Namaste and welcome to Tamarapatra Conversations. These monthly discussions have been ideated to serve as complements to the year-long dance digital immersion series Tamarapatra, which focuses on the brilliant 15th century Telugu poet Annamacharya or Annamaya. This annual series has been ideated by Ananda Shankar Jain and Team Natya Rambha. It's already gotten off to a rousing start. Today's conversation has its theme, image and imagery, with the heroine in the spotlight, Alamelu Manga, the beloved consort of Venkatachalapati. But now we start today's discussion by inviting Ananda Shankar Jain, who started off the teaching last month. So Ananda, welcome.
And Thank you, Anita. This Tamarapatra Conversations 3, actually. We're meeting for the third time. Isn't that wonderful?
Yes, I know. Now tell me, you kicked it off. How did it feel for you? You haven't taught, throughout the pandemic, and
Yes.
there you were fluently teaching a whole bunch of young dancers. And how was it really teaching through the digital medium for you?
Yes, I honestly, I haven't really been teaching online. My teachers have been teaching online, and I just about a month before Tamarapatra, I started teaching a small group of my senior dancers online. So yes, it was much of a stress, I must say, trying to understand light and camera and all that stuff, of course, and also trying to figure out how to explain the movement, how to explain the expression. Mm-hmm. So I kind of edited some old videos, redid it. So I guess a lot of practice as always. I had trial sessions with my senior dancers. They said, this doesn't work, that doesn't work. Like a good dancer, practice, practice, practice. That's the byline of Natya Rambha. So that's what we did.
Don't you think that for this kind of digital delivery, although the product at the end of it becomes a dance piece or an item, yes, there is much more preparation that's needed compared to just teaching in a classroom?
Absolutely, because here you're trying to layer the kind of groups and the background learning is different. So you have to paraphrase your teaching in a different way. And also, very early in our dialogues with Anupama, who's my resource scholar, we decided that we're not going to, just park the choreography. We're trying to establish an understanding of how every dancer thinks. And that's what is the biggest takeaway for the Tamarapatra series, that dancers who join in, dancers or anyone who registers, are actually peeping into 12 minds. And while they take away nuances and ideas, while it's parked under the head of one person's choreography, it's not about move this way or move that way. So I think that was something that really worked for me.
Yeah, I think that for me is very exciting because I myself am going to be part of the series later on in the year. And I'm also looking at, the parallels and the possibilities, keeping in mind a certain cultural milieu and, me from a Tamil space going into what could be the decorative mind of, this prolific mind of Annamaya, and how he has imagined his heroines, particularly Alamelu Manga. So what is the license that one can take? It's also a great learning for us, and I think all our senior dancers who've been invited, I think are going to find a huge opening and yes, possibilities. And I think that's really interesting about the art, isn't it? We can create, continue to learn, continue to develop, continue to imagine.
Yes.
So I have to thank you for this fabulous...
Dipping back into centuries ago and then kind of bringing it to the present, relearning it, reworking it, re-engaging with different metaphors, different images, imagery, and imagination. And that is really the title of Tamarapatra's Conversation 3.
So on that note, Ananda, can I now invite your colleague, scholar, performer, who's actually with you throughout this year, but she's the next featured performer this month. So I would love to invite Anupama Kailash, and she's accompanied in today's discussion by singer Shweta. Anupama Kailash, welcome to Tamrapatra Conversations. I should not be welcoming you. You have actually co-ideated this with Ananda. And I also welcome singer Shweta. Anupama, I have to tell you, with Ananda listening, that I have to credit Ananda. You are the single most exciting discovery during the pandemic. You know, the world has discovered you. The world has discovered your knowledge, your scholarship, your beautiful and very unique Abhinaya. And I think the dance world has been enriched by it. Now, I know that you are immersed. You're immersed in a deep dive into the world of Annamaya, and all of us are trying to actually understand it each time we talk to you and each time we listen to you. And you've sent such copious background notes to each of the artists. But you are being featured this month as a performer. So now, before we get you to even talk, can we hear Shweta sing? Shweta, will you pick out any one of the compositions and tell us what it is and why you chose a certain raga and a certain mette and what talam? Just tell me what went into the musical framing of this.
Sure. So any kriti of Annamacharya would do, or
well, do you have anything
one
that
of
is
the ones that we chose? You could sing. Maybe
yes, one of the one.
or
sure.
Maybe
Yes.
maybe the well-known one. Maybe the
Sure.
well-known
Yes.
one. But
Okay.
just before she
Palluku
starts
Sayalatalli
singing,
then.
let me just say two
Just
lines
the
about
Pallavi, yeah. Just start singing.
Just two lines about Shweta. Shweta is a renowned musician. I've known her since she was in class 7, and a brilliant musician, brilliant choreographer and composer of music. She's been singing across the world, a wonderful teacher. Her daughter was one of the singers of the main lead song of Putti Kahani. So, and her husband, Renuka Prasad, is a Natvanar and a Pratangist, who we all know. So over to you, Shweta.
Thanks, Akka. Thank you so much. పలుకుతే నెల తల్లి పవళించెను పలుకుతే నెల తల్లి పవళించెను కలికి తన మూల విభుని కలసినది గాన పలుకుతే నెల తల్లి పవళించెను కలికి తన మూల విభుని కలసినది గాన పలుకుతే నెల తల్లి పవళించెను నిగ నిగని మోముపై నిరులు గెలకుల చదర నిగ నిగని మోముపై నిరులు గెలకుల చదర నిగ నిగని మోముపై నిరులు గెలకుల చదర పగలైన దాక చెల్లి పవళించెను నిగ నిగని మోముపై నిరులు గెలకుల చదర పగలైన దాక చెల్లి పవళించెను తెగని పరిణతులతో తెల్లవారిన దాక తెగని పరిణతులతో తెల్లవారిన దాక జగదేకపతి మనసు జట్టి గునిగాన జగదేకపతి మనసు జట్టి గునిగాన పలుకుతే నెల తల్లి పవళించెను.
Thank you, Shweta.
Thank you so
You
much.
know, Anupama, I'm listening to her and I'm saying, this is so perfect for the mood for the song that you have described. Alamelu Manga, the morning after, languorously trying to gather herself and her emotions and her, it's just so beautiful,
Yes.
So Anupama, you've picked for this discussion imagery, imagination with Alamelu Manga.
Yes.
Tell me about the song that you are going to teach. Which
Yes.
is the piece you're going to teach?
All right. So the reason I wanted to discuss image and imagery is because this particular song that I will be delineating here for the workshop, it describes Alamelu Manga in minute detail, but through her own reminiscences. So she is remembering all the time that she and Lord Venkateshwara spent together, but he is not there right now. So she's remembering all the times he tried to touch her intimately, or that little love play between them, but he's not there. So this is like you have the Sambhoga Shringara and Vipralambha both intertwined within the whole song. And that's what's interesting about it. And the imagery is so fine in the song that in fact, I'm even hard pressed to find additional motifs to enhance what Annamacharya has already given within the song. I mean, it's so detailed that she even says that he wanted to see the faces of the pendants on my waist belt. So it's as detailed as that. So to find a supplementary action to over what he has already given us, that itself is a challenge for this song. And this flitting between, this was how beautiful it was then. And now I don't know, I have sent the Sakhis, but I don't know whether he'll come or not. So this dichotomy is absolutely beautiful in the song that we're doing.
Yeah, I think it's so befitting. We're talking in the month of Adi, right? It's the month of the goddess. And
Yes.
and I know that if the temples were open as normal, Alamelu Manga's temple will be thronged with people.
Yes,
Absolutely thronged with people, crowding and saying, please take this wish to your Lord. Please take this wish to your Lord. Yes.
Absolutely.
So continue, Anupama. Tell us a little more about the imagery, because I know that you have selected a few songs from which to build on the kind of, fabulous imagination that Annamaya has created in his mind and through his words.
Yes, absolutely. So the one very noteworthy feature that I find in the way Annamacharya looks at images connected with Alamelu Manga is that there are multiple shades, and in every shade she behaves in a very independent and a very confident manner. So even in the shyness, there is a coquettishness, there is, so there are songs, certain songs which really captured my attention even while choreographing this particular piece that I'm going to teach also. For example, one of the songs says, Kommatana Mutyala Kongu Jaraganu Pagatu Kummarimpuchu Techukunnadi Valapu. So it literally means that the way her pallo, which was laced with pearls, so the way that pallo fell, from her shoulder, it was almost like she's pouring from a pot the beauty and the grace and the light. So the Pagatu, the word has several meanings in the Amarakosham. So right from brightness to beauty, to grace, to pride, to confidence, it has multiple meanings. So he says, just by dropping the pallo like that, like as if she's pouring, she has endowed herself with so much beauty. Techukunnadi Valapu, that she has bought it, she has brought it onto herself. That's how he describes it. And these are the extremely, delicate images that he gives us. And there is another phrase in the very same song where he says, just as beautiful as she is when she's shy and graceful and full of love, she's as beautiful when she's angry also. So he says, like looking with unflapping lids, she's staring at Venkateshwara with red eyes. And, with that anger, she's looking at him and she's ready to approach him. He says, Kalu Dhruvuchu. The word Kalu Dhruvuchu is like how a bull kicks its legs before charging. So he beautifully describes it. He says, Kalu Dhruvuchu techukunnadi valapu. So she's literally, ready to do battle with him. So he says that is another beauty that she has got, brought onto herself. So this kind of imagery is where she's suddenly, shy, she's suddenly angry, it's all quicksilver kind of, emotions just running through the whole thing. So these kind of songs have really got me thinking, about the choreography of this song that I'm doing. And there are many other songs also like this where he attributes so many things to Alamelu Manga. Like, for example, in one of the songs, he says, Etumanti mohamo intini pai ataniki. He says, I don't know what kind of moha or love or attachment or delusion he has towards you, that everything he does is actually inspired only by you. And then he goes on to tell her that, he rescued Gajendra in the Gajendra Moksha only because she walks like a Gajagamini. So because he was reminded of her walk. And he says he holds the chakram because your hips are rounded. That's the reason why he's actually holding the chakra. He's holding the shankha because your throat is like the conch or the shankha. And he goes on in that manner. He says, Neela Varna. He became Neela Varna only because your tresses are blue-black. Otherwise, he wouldn't have thought of taking on that color. So he goes on in this vein. So these are some songs which really got me thinking. And actually, Etuvanti Mohamo Shweta has composed it for me for my first production, which I did after my doctoral thesis. It was based on my PhD. So maybe she could just hum Etuvanti Mohamo for us.
Yes, Shweta, please.
Sure.
Please.
For this, actually, Anupama, if I can talk about the ragam chosen for this.
Yes, of
so
course.
we have taken Kuntala Varali for this because it is also descriptive, and also it has a little very sarcastic kind of a feel when he's comparing it with when Annamacharya is comparing everything to Alamelu Manga. So it's not totally sarcastic, but it's very beautiful as well.
More playful.
So
it's playful, actually.
It's very playful.
Okay.
It's very playful. So we thought of choosing Kuntala Varali for this. I would just hum a little bit.
Yeah.
ఎటువంటి మోహమో ఇంతిని పైగతనికి ఎటువంటి మోహమో ఇంతిని పైగతనికి తట్టుకున్న ఉరమున ధరించి నిన్ను ఎటువంటి మోహమో ఇంతిని పైగతనికి తట్టుకున్న ఉరమున ధరించి నిన్ను ఎటువంటి మోహమో కామిని నీ నడపులు గజగమనములని కామించి నీ పతి కరిగాచెను కామిని నీ నడపులు గజగమనములని కామించి నీ పతి కరిగాచెను కోమల పూని పిరుదు చక్రభావమని నేమమై చక్రము చేత నిలిపినాడతడు ఎటువంటి మోహమో ఇంటిని పైగతనికి తట్టుకున్న ఉరమున హరించి నిన్ను ఎటువంటి మోహమో.
Wow, thank you. Ananda, don't you think, Anupama, it has a Kuchipudi lachak in it?
Absolutely.
takita, takita, takita.
That is
I can just
exactly
think.
what we wanted. Yes.
Yeah. I know it has that. It has it lends itself, that playfulness lends itself so beautifully to the kuchipudi genre, you know. And I can just see that, just the walk, that, you know, that springy walk. Yeah, and it's, see, that's what I mean. Setting it to the right tune also imbues it with the right mood that will inspire the performer. Yeah, I think it's a fabulous job, Shweta. It's really beautifully done.
Thank you so much.
Anupama, do you know of any other poet who has given the goddess this kind of elaborate time, words, space, imagination, like Annamacharya? I mean,
So
I know Venkatachalapati was his god, but then
Yes.
the amount of attention that he has given to Alamelu Manga,
Absolutely.
has any other poet paid as much attention to the consort of the Lord like he has?
So in Shaivite philosophy, of course, we have a lot of concentration on the Devi or Parvati or the different manifestations. But I think in Vaishnavite literature, we have a lot in the Dasa poetry also. But I think after Gita Govindam, if you ask me, the kind of importance that Jayadeva gave to Radha, in fact, it is only because of him that the Yugal, Radha Krishna, came into literature as a united pair. So I think after Jayadeva, this kind of attention is really unique to Annamacharya, I think. But there are a few songs which are very similar to what Kshetraya has composed, even in his padams. Even though most of his padams are based on the courtesan, primarily they are courtesan padams, but there are certain autobiographical pieces which some people have said, spoken about. So there is the song that I first mentioned, Kummatana Mutyala Kungu Jaraganu, the way her pallo dropped. There is a very similar song in Kshetraya also, where he says, where he apparently after the Ekanta Seva falls asleep in the Varadaraja temple in Kanchi. And when he wakes up in the morning, he sees the form of the goddess coming out and waking up everyone. So it is it is a very similar kind of a song. I'm just trying to remember the words of that song. That song is in fact very much, I think, maybe inspired by Annamacharya's this particular song also. The way the song progresses. He says, I'm just trying to remember the words of the Kshetraya song.
Yeah.
I think when I remember it, I'll get back to it. So the same walk he describes, the way she walks, and then all her sakhis looking at her state and all of them talking about it. So it's a very similar kind of a song. So there are a few songs of Kshetraya which are like that, but this kind of multi-dimensional description of the mother goddess, especially Alamelu Manga, I have not seen it anywhere except in Annamacharya, this kind of a description. Maybe a little bit again only we'll find in Tamil literature, maybe the Alvars, because Annamacharya's work is highly inspired by the Alvar traditions also. In fact, he's himself called a latter-day Alvar, and they think he's a reincarnation of Nammalvar. So I think it is only there and then here that we find this kind of parallels. Very unique.
Anupama, you've been teaching so consistently throughout the pandemic, almost a year and a half. And how do you find inspiration for yourself each time you teach? Sometimes it can become routine. You don't see your students. You have to swipe left or right on your digital device to know how many people have attended. It can be so impersonal, isn't it?
Yes.
So
absolutely.
How do you find the inspiration, and how do you keep renewing yourself? Every time you have to do these sessions.
Yes. So Anita ji, I really don't know. Actually, I don't have a very pakka answer to this, except that what I've tried to do is, if I'm doing a workshop or a master class or something on a particular subject, the next 3 sessions of any any other workshop, I try not to repeat the subject again. Like if I'm doing one on Nayikas, then I don't want to do Nayikas for another 4 sessions at least. Then I want to explore something else, maybe Rasa in the next one. And maybe like I did a Gita Govindam workshop for a 10 session one. So something which gives me the opportunity to study something new. So that, that then enthuses me to say, okay, this discovery I've made, now I have to share this discovery. So that makes me excited. Because if I'm going on talking about the same thing over and over again, then maybe I lose that, the novelty will wear off after some time, as you said. But I try to keep working on different ideas and different thought processes so that, I can try to at least retain first my own interest, because if I can't retain that, then I can't retain anyone else's interest either. So this is one thing I do. Annamacharya, I'm always excited because every new song gives me something absolutely new to think of. And there's just no limit to, and they challenge me first of all, Annamacharya, because when you read the song, your first question is this Telugu? You don't even understand. The language is so complex. The methodology of the way he uses words, you think some word is just a link word or a miscellaneous word. You can do without that word in the line. That's how we think. But then we realize that it's not. That word is giving us nuance to the line, which we won't understand if we don't understand the word. So I think constantly learning about it just keeps me excited. That's all I can say.
I have one last question for you, Anupama. When we're teaching on the digital medium and we're reaching out now to dancers in India, all across the world, it's such a global world right now. And yes, I'm finding that a lot of our Indian kids who live outside India have lost because they don't speak in the native language. They've lost the small little gestures of the neck, that comes when you speak your native language, Tamil or Telugu or Hindi. So the small little things like, asking those things of the neck, the kids have lost. Yes. So they end up having larger movements, they use their shoulders a bit too much. And so yes, I'm just saying that, isn't that a challenge for you? Trying to almost, when you're teaching Abhinaya, for instance, Annamacharya is Abhinaya. And it's always been a question for me, how do you translate a cultural milieu, not necessarily only 15th century. Even today, we're all talking, when we talk Telugu, Tamil, Kannada, Malayalam, we have certain ways in which we move our necks and our chins and we use our hands, which diaspora students don't have. Exactly. So I'm just wondering, how do you teach so that they don't get either intimidated and they're also able to pick up what your intention is?
Right. So some things are very interesting, I find, because I remember when I was doing one workshop, we were doing Ekantamulona. There is one song which we were working on. And I was teaching it to some of the students who are US based. And they do this, they roll the eyes for something, which is derogatory. So we don't do
whatever.
That. So that
whatever.
Exactly. that's yes, whatever. So every time I say, when she's sarcastic, she looks away. So they were doing that thing, they're rolling the eyes and looking away. So I found it so interesting because I know it doesn't belong to our cultural milieu, but it's actually conveying the idea very beautifully. Her whole the derogatory attitude that she's projecting, they're able to bring it so well, in that action. So I said, keep it. It's okay. It doesn't, maybe it doesn't match what we think of an Indian action, but it's all right, so you can keep it. And then some things, there is a lot of discussion, like, for example, feeling shy. That's something, again, they can't associate with. So, but the only thing which I find interesting here in these discussions is, even though the cultural, as you said, the cultural milieu and the body language, how it changes according to the cultural milieu. But having said that, it's also that, these are such universal emotions. So, like, for example, I had given them one example of, any of the Walt Disney, if you take any of those, some of the beautiful Walt Disney movies also, you have very typical kind of women, characters, even in that, or, even if we look at a Virahot Kantita, say from a contemporary film or anything like that. So, since love, anger, passion, disgust, sarcasm, all these, since they are universal emotions, I think even if there is a little difference in the way they do it, at the end of the day, I think they get it. They get what it is, they get what they're expected to do. But then slowly they'll have to work on honing the ability to be able to convey it, with ease. Maybe it doesn't come in the beginning, but slowly, I think if they hone the ability to do it, they can, do it. And if they are putting something which we don't see here, well, it's okay. Let them put it. There's nothing wrong with that. So they can.
I think, I think that approach is very good, because what you're talking is contemporary 21st century Abhinaya. And if it fits, it fits. If it conveys the emotion, it works. I know that a lot of students have enrolled and are waiting to, get a glimpse of your erudition and your imagination. And I want to bring in Ananda Shankar here at this point, because Ananda, you must be quite thrilled with the response and the momentum that the series has now generated. So what are your hopes now moving forward in the next couple of months? Now you've finished the performer, now you're stepping back as producer.
Yes, the first session, we had 100 plus registrations. And we are hoping that this time it's almost getting full. The next session is almost getting full. And I think what has really happened, Anita, for all of us, and Anupama and I keep chatting about this, and so have I, is that, there has been a takeaway for everybody. Tamrapatra has been designed in such a way that there's a takeaway for everyone, the teacher, the performer, the persons who register, the lots that is given in that. And I think that kind of is what is really working. Of course, the fact that you get to learn 12 different Sankirtanas, beautifully composed, beautifully explained and choreographed by 12 gurus. I mean, I think it's fantastic. But I just want to spin back a little and just remind Anupama about a little discussion we had. Remember, Anupama, we were discussing about this Sankirtana that you were mentioning in our many chats, about how all the powers of Manmata is anyway with her. So what is it? Can you just give us a very brief introduction to that? Because I found that very exciting.
Yes, it's beautiful. Actually, it was part of my thesis, the list of 52 songs that I had finally selected for my thesis. And this goes into that category, which I called his extremely unique style. Now, this is something only Annamaya does. That is, he takes the attributes of different things and then he juxtaposes them onto Alamelu Manga. So another thing that's interesting, which I and Shweta thought we'd just do as an experiment here, is this song has not been tuned by anybody so far. So, as I'm talking about the piece, I thought immediately she can spontaneously think of a tune. Wow. To do the whole thing. So here the poet is saying Maruni balamulella maguvaku chuttale. So he says all the strengths of Madana or all the attendants of Madana are already the relatives and in fact slaves of Alamelu Manga. So okay. so don't think that Madana can do anything to her or harm her in any way, because they are already subservient to her. And then so he says that is why there is never going to be viraha between her and him, because Madana can't have his battlefield open here. And then he goes on to describe, and he says when she's talking to all her friends, to her chelis, listening to the sound of her voice, all the parrots came and they made a group with her. So the parrot is his primary ayudha. So he says, okay, parrots are now with her. And then when she took her pallo off just to dry the sweat on her chest, the Chakravaka birds came and landed there, thinking that this is another pair of Chakravaka birds. And then he goes on to say, he says, when she when she folded her hands in supplication, all the bees came and started going around the hands, thinking that these are lotuses. These are lotus flowers. And when she started walking in the vana, in her beautiful, graceful gait, all peacocks started following her and trying to imitate her walk. So this really reminded me actually of this very same situation in Kumarasambhavam, in Kalidasa,
Yes.
where when she's walking, he says, did the swans learn the walk from her or did she learn it from the swans? So very similar idea. And then finally he says, when she kept gazing at, the face of Venkateshwara, and actually when she was being gazed at by Venkateshwara, the Chakoras also followed suit because they thought her face was the moon. So just like Venkateshwara's eyes became the Chakoras, all the real birds also started following her. And then he says, so this is Alamelu Manga for you and this is Venkateshwara. So Madana, just, go away because you are not going to achieve anything here. Because all the, the Shuka, Pika and all the Malay Marutam and everything is our friend now. So that's the gist of the song.
That's lovely.
So will
Shweta, do you want to give it a try, or do you want to give it a try as we close out our
Yes,
Tamrapatra
yes. I
conversation?
think after hearing to Anupama Garu's description of the song, I think Tilang would, it was the, just like
Okay.
this thing that I just came into my thought. I'll just give it a try. I can just try.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
మరుని బలములెల్లా మగువకు చుట్టాలే మరుని బలములెల్లా మగువకు చుట్టాలే విరహమెన్నడు లేదు వెలదికి నీకును విరహమెన్నడు లేదు వెలదికి నీకును మరుని బలములెల్ల మగువకు చుట్టాలే చెలులతో నీ సుద్దులు చెప్పుకోగా వనములో చిలుకలు చేరవచ్చే చెలివద్దికి చెలులతో నీ సుద్దులు చెప్పుకోగా వనములో చిలుకలు చేరవచ్చే చెలివద్దికి చెలరేగి చన్నులపై చెమటలారుచుకోగా చెలరేగి చన్నులపై చెమటలారుచుకోగా వలవంతను రముపై వాలెను చక్కవలు మరుని బలములెల్ల మగువకు చుట్టాలే.
I want to get up and dance.
Yes. Thank you, Shweta. That was lovely. And before we close, I have a question to ask Ananda. It's not about Annamaya, but it's about your dupatta. So, what are you wearing? Okay, very colorful, very special.
Yes, it is special. It is a beautifully hand-painted dupatta by my student, Anusha Namburi. She's an extraordinary artist other than being a wonderful dancer. So it's a lovely gift she gave me, hand-painted, fabric-painted. And she goes with Instagram handle Varnam by Anusha. So check it out. Lovely, Anusha. Thank you for this. And,
Yeah.
Before
Go ahead, Ananda. Close it out. You can close it out.
Okay. So thank you everyone. Thank you Anita for anchoring Tamrapatra Conversations 3. Thank you Dr. Anupama Kailash. Thank you Shweta for being part of this Tamrapatra Conversations 3. It's already, I mean, I can't believe we're already into the second session in just next week. Just a week away on 14th and 15th of August, 7:30 p.m. to 9 or 9:30 p.m. Session 2 of Tamrapatra will happen. I hope you all have registered. Registrations are open, almost getting full. So quickly go out there and get your registrations done. It's an exquisite Sankirtana, you don't want to miss.
Beautiful.
And thank you, Shweta, specifically, because now I think, Anupama and Anita, I felt while we were listening to Shweta, we can do Annamacharya and Tamrapatra for the next 5 years or 10 years or even more, because Shweta herself has composed so much. So I think we have a fantastic. You were asking me about the business and the revenue model. I think it's pat on. I think we have a great.
Yeah.
So thank you once again, beautiful ladies, Anita, Anupama, Shweta, for being part of Tamrapatra Conversations, and see you soon at Tamrapatra Session 2, August 14th and 15th, Indian Standard Time, 7:30 p.m. Don't forget to register.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Love
Thank
you
you
all
all.
from Nachara.
Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you so
Shweta,
much.
thank you.
Thank you all. Namaste.
అరుదు తాళపాక అన్నమయ్య పదములు